We're going to be designing fantasy weapons. Haha! Hey guys, I'm GreenFly, and today we're going to be designing fantasy weapons for monsters from Hytale. Yes, you heard me right. We're taking monsters from Hytale / mobs, making cool, interesting weapons. And the first one we're going to be doing is going to be one of the most annoying ones that you can encounter when you dig straight down, the magma toad. Well, the magma rhino toad, but you know what I mean. They're an annoying one, and boy, I hate running into it. But yeah, we're going to rip some parts out of it and make an interesting weapon out of it. A fantasy weapon. Let's get to it.
Okay, so we are going to be drawing some bits and bobs from the rhino magma toad. It is an annoying creature. It hits you with its tongue at long range and tries to drag you into the goddamn magma. So I thought, well, why don't we take that useful part of it, its tongue, and turn it into a magma whip? I mean, pretty much you can hit your enemies from afar from it, you could probably swing with it, and yeah, it is by far one of those enemies when you dig down for the first time in Hytale. Yeah, you're surprised by it, it's annoying, you want to get rid of it as soon as possible, and yeah, quite a few times it's, it just likes to push you right over the edge and ritually unalive you, unfortunately. Yeah, so it's one of those enemies you want to get rid of, you want to absolutely just take it out as soon as possible, and I thought this is one of those ones that I would be very satisfied to get rid of it, turn it into materials, and make a cool, interesting weapon. I thought the whip would make sense. I think it would be pretty cool from if you're killing this thing and stuff like that, then you're making this interesting weapon, and it's literally a flaming whip. Well, pretty much magma whip overall. So yeah, like I said, I don't really draw weapons that often, not that too often, and everything else. So it's definitely not my, well, I would say I'm not too bad at it, but I definitely could do better. Definitely could do better and stuff like that. So luckily, these are fantasy weapons, so let's be honest, you're not gonna have a fucking magma whip and all that, I mean, come on, and stuff like that. Still functions like a whip, but only it gives you a little bit more blunt damage to your enemies. So yeah, this is parts will be ripped out from the rhino magma toad, the magma whip.
Haha! We've ripped the parts out of that goddamn toad and made an awesome magma whip. But now it's time to take another one, another mob, one that kind of tries to follow you and then tries to sneak and attack you from the shadows. But it's a little plant, it's small, and it's called the cacti. I think that's how you pronounce it. Small little cactus, and while it tries to get you by prickling you, boy, it's another annoying one. But yeah, let's rip it apart and make another cool, interesting fantasy weapon. Maybe something a bit more green and prickly. But anyway, let's get to it.
We have gotten another interesting mob of this Hytale game. It is sneaky, surprising, and yeah, it's a cactus, but it's a living cactus. And yeah, it's one of those ones you generally are just kind of like, what the hell is this thing and what is it trying to do? So I thought, well, we could take bits apart, but what if the weapon was kind of like a cactus club? So pretty much I kind of thought, you know what, well, what if this club could grow back? Bits come off of it when you whack your opponent and stuff like that. It's probably one of the, I would imagine, probably the easiest ones that you could probably encounter and stuff like that. And yeah, once you pretty much get rid of this enemy and stuff like that, tons of materials, you could pretty much put it in a plant pot. And yeah, to repair it, you pretty much water the plant club thing, pretty much. But yeah, I kind of thought, you know what, let's try and make something different, little bit thing. And it's one of those things that I feel like clubs in most games are kind of that, like, easy weapon. It's mostly just a stick and everything else, but I know it's a little bit, something a little bit different, something a little bit spiky, and something that, well, it doesn't just do one whack of damage, but it pretty much does damage over time because bits of the cactus hit your opponent and stick to it. So yeah, I thought we'd turn the cacti into a cactus club, but it's a living weapon. You just have to water it, and yeah, that's how you repair it. Simple as that. So yeah, probably wouldn't be doing too well against things, but hey, it's a cool, interesting weapon, and I thought, you know what? could have gone so many different ways, but I think this is one's a bit different and a bit out there. So yeah, this is the Cactus Club from the Cat T of Hytale.
Okay, so now that we took that cactus mob and turned it into a living weapon, it's time to take another one. And the next mob we're going to be taking is the golem. Usually quite passive, but if it's corrupted, it's quite a fearsome one to battle. So we're going to use the corrupted golem and turn into some kind of, I would think, maybe interesting corrupted gauntlet. So yeah, time to rip apart a golem. Let's go for it.
We have the golem. An interesting, passive, usually peaceful mob, unfortunately has been corrupted with a dark blade. I haven't seen any of these ones yet, but from things that I've seen, stuff like that, then yeah. I mean, a golem in itself, heck, even in like normal, like D&D and stuff and everything else, is definitely one of those ones you're like, oh god, it's pretty big, I don't want to deal with it. But yeah, this one's even looks more corrupted. It's like powered of darkness, and I thought, well, you know, what if we take parts of that corrupted energy, make some kind of like dark energy like gauntlet, pretty much. So these ancient and dark cursed powers into this giant massive gauntlet, and pretty much attaches itself to your arm. But yeah, you can pretty much, I would think, fire dark energy blasts and all this and stuff like that, and it could be kind of like, you know, that kind of thing, like you can kind of defend yourself a little bit from it. And there's so many possibilities I could have gone through this stuff. That I know you could probably go, you're probably going like, well, why did I just talk that dark energy sword thing? Well, I would think that if you were probably fighting the golem and all that, the sword probably would get destroyed and all that, but you could probably piece bits together and from the golem and have some kind of dark, glowing, purpley gauntlet. Whatever this custard darkness is, well, you just say, you know what, I'm going to weave it into this arm of this golem and pretty much use it for myself. The energy of the darkness is for me and me alone. This is the dark, glowing gauntlet from the golem.
Okay, we've done the golem, we have a cool corrupted gauntlet, but how about we take something from deep underground, another thing, the Cave Rex. It's cool, it's awesome, you can ride it, and god, I love dinosaurs, but unfortunately what happens if he passes away by unfortunate circumstances, and you want to turn it into a cool weapon? Let's turn it into something cool. I think maybe a warhammer would be really cool. So yeah, let's turn it into a warhammer. Let's go for it.
So, the Cave Rex from Hytale. Another one, another cool, interesting mob that, yeah, seeing it was very cool. Also a bit scary, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of enemies in this game that really just want to, yeah, get you very, very quickly. It's pretty much the further that you go out from your main base, the harder it gets, and there's a lot to explore. Now, yes, the game is still in development and stuff like that, but heck, even the fact that the game is even out is amazing. I never thought we'd even see this game see the light of day. But anyway, the Cave Rex. I love dinosaurs, you guys know this. I love like dragons and stuff like that. But yeah, with this one, I kind of thought there was many different ways I could have gone with this. I was like, I want to make a hammer. I think a hammer would be really cool. Almost like a kind of club, like hammer kind of thing. And I was like, okay, well, what if we take bits from the legs, like the actual bones? I would imagine they would be extremely big and extremely thick. And I thought that would be a perfect bit for like the hammer. We also get some bits of metals from like reinforcement as well that I feel that you'd probably find earlier on in the game, stuff like that. And I was like, well, we'll also take bits from its hide, skin, pretty much. Or would you say scales and that? I'm trying to think what you call it for freaking reptiles. But anyway, I thought take bits of that as turn it to leather, stuff like the handle, that makes sense. Take the glowy bits, you know, there's kind of glowing bits on top of the Rex as little tassel bits at the bottom, and I thought, you know what, that makes sense. We're kind of going very caveman kind of like smash, simple. thing, pretty much a hammer, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I think this is pretty good. I think this looks pretty good. I generally would. This was actually in the game and stuff like that. I generally would probably like make it and actually probably keep this weapon of all of them. But yeah, this is the giant Warhammer bone thing for.
We have one more, I think, in May, and we are going to be taking the Ice Dragon. I thought, why not? We need to make something for a dragon. I love dragons, and boy, this is a cool and terrifying one indeed. So let's take parts of it and make something massive, cool, and I think swords. Oh, but not just a sword, a giant great sword, because it's a big dragon after all. So yeah, let's make our final fantasy weapon from the Ice Dragon. Let's go for it.
We are the last one. We are at the Ice Dragon. The Ice Dragon. Pretty big, everything else. Haven't seen it myself, but the fact that even finding out that this thing's even in the game, of course they had to add dragons. Of course they had. You couldn't just not have a game without dragons. I fucking love dragons. But yes, this is the Ice Dragon, and I thought, well, this is a giant, powerful, magical dragon. And I thought, well, the biggest part on its body, well, not the biggest part on its body, but the literal horn ice on its head would make part of a perfect weapon. And I thought, well, what if this is ice that never melts? It doesn't melt ever, and literally the bits that you take to make this weapon is almost like a giant ice so-called great sword. And I thought this would be a weapon that you could literally not only just hit your slash your enemies with, but also freeze them solid. Like literally you could slash the ground or slash in mid-air, and giant like ice slashes through the sky, freeze the air itself. And this like, oh, I think it would be such, it's just like that cool like ice weapon and all this stuff like that. And it's like, well, why not? This is like fantasy, I can make it as much as I want. And yeah, there was so like, there could have been different ways. I could have made more complicated than that. It's like, well, usually the simplest and cleanest weapons tend to just be the most powerful one. I thought, this looks the most powerful. This is one that like the ice is so hard and so solid, there was not a lot that the player could pretty much craft into, but only thought, you know what, I can try and sharpen it with this ice and ice into an ice greatsword and freeze and cut my opponent solid. So yeah, I thought we'll make this. I think it looks really cool, and yeah, this is the last weapon we are making for today. The giant ice greatsword from the Ice Dragon.
And there you guys have it. We made 5 fantasy weapons from Hytale mobs. We made cool weapons like from the Magma Rhino Toad, the Cat Turn, the Golem, but obviously the corrupted version, the Cave Rex, and the Ice Dragon. 5 interesting, cool weapons, and boy, I'll say this, it's always cool making some lovely fantasy weapons stuff like that. I don't really do it that often, making that many fantasy weapons stuff like that, but I had to really think of making sure I took parts of them, inspiration, ideas, and kind of thinking what I could kind of go in which each direction. Yeah, I would say overall, Hytale is a fun and cool, interesting game. It really is. And you can do so much. There is unbelievably so many mods for the game as well. It's actually crazy as well. And as the game is developed and everything else, I think it's just going to be so much in it that at this point we're just going to be like, wow, when does it end? It might never end. But yes, I'm GreenFly. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully maybe I may have interest to subscribe, and maybe, hey, maybe you want to see more interesting twists on creatures and monsters that I've done. You can check this video here for more stuff like that. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Take care.